Good evening and a very warm welcome on Supergrads YouTube channel. It is said that a direction is very essential before you start a journey. Just imagine you have to go somewhere and you do not have a GPS and you do not have signboards also. You will be going somewhere without any direction and you might not reach your destination. Today we have three guests on Supergrads YouTube channel who are going to give you the direction for IPM. And the specialty of our today's guest is that they have already gone through the 5 long years of IPM, and now they have completed the 5 years from the prestigious IIM Indore program. So we have amongst us once again Anusha, who has already been our guest in the last interview over here. We also have Navya. We also have Manik. Hello, how are you all three of you? If you can give a bit of introduction each and every one. Let's start with Navya. Navya, if you can tell something about yourself to the audience tonight.
Hello guys. Yeah, as we were introduced, we all are IPM 2016 batch alumni, and yeah, we just recently stepped out into the corporate world, as they say, and I'm currently placed in equity research with Goldman Sachs. And yeah, I think I'll talk more about my journey in IPM as we go, but yeah, this is a small introduction about it.
Welcome on Supergrads YouTube channel, Navya.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Manik.
Hi Rahul, thanks for the warm welcome. I'm Manik Thakur, and just like these guys, I'm also from the 2016 to 2021 batch of IPM, and currently working as an investment banking associate at ICICI Securities, and we're just working today as well. So definitely work from home has started for us.
The great thing is you have joined us despite the work. Thank you for that, Manik. And thank you for the valuable time that you are giving over here. And I think, let me tell you guys that, these people have just come up over here on a single request. And Anusha has made it possible because she has been a family to us. You may be knowing her already. You have checked her interview last time in the Super Alumnus series as well. Yes, Anusha, something from your side now.
Yeah, so just like my other two batchmates, we're all from the same batch. We've just graduated from college. I'm yet to join my company, which is Bajaj Auto, as a marketing and sales manager. Looking forward to the interview yet again, and it's always good to be back with Supergrads.
All right, so let's start the fun element now, and that's the interview. We are going to chit chat with these three people, and these three people are going to give you directions. Open your pen and pads if possible. First question goes to Anusha. How has IIM Indore journey changed your life till date?
Okay, in terms of obviously in terms of professionally, it has given me it has equipped me with a lot of skills that I can use in the corporate world or otherwise. But I think more than that, there are a lot of changes that have happened personally in all of us alike, all of the IPM students. A major part of it is also because you're living alone right after 12. But apart from that, the course structure is such that you get to know a lot of things that you're not aware about. So I think overall, it has just made me way more humble than what I was when I entered the institute, because that time we had, many of us had that feeling that we've already cracked a very good institute, and we're good to go now, which might not necessarily be the case. So, that way it has made me a lot more humble and given me a lot more sense of security that ठीक है, कुछ difficult लग भी रहा है तो हो जाएगा. It's just that वो confidence आ गया है कि we can sail through things if we put in our amount of effort in it.
All right, she's making a very big point. Understand this. I read it somewhere that the best trait a human can have is humility. So if a program gives you that trait in you, that means this program is powerful enough. The same question now. I'm going to carry forward this interview with a related question from Manik. Manik, what do you think? I mean, we have been listening from people around that IPM program from IIM Indore is the best course, and not only it's the best course, but it's best course across all streams. What is your thought on this particular thing?
Yeah, it is definitely a revolutionary course, and I think all of us had been at similar crossroads back in our 12th, and probably for the entire batch as well, that whether you go the engineering way or you go to DU or something. But I specifically came to IPM for its curriculum and the fact that the holistic curriculum, the sort of subjects we study, the diversity of courses that we have, the faculties, the social learning and so on. So I think that definitely makes it amongst the best courses. And definitely when we get to PGP, we sort of compare ourselves, and not just in like maybe professional terms, but also in personal terms. And we compare it to our friends, like at least I do from my school friends, and all of them sort of have noted similar sort of differences, that the certain, I wouldn't say like there's no specific skill that there would be, but there's definitely a upgradation of the soft skills, the way you manage yourself, the way you present yourself, the way you talk, the way you communicate. And I think there's a lot of focus on that in our course. And that definitely helps us. And that has sort of been there as a comment from any time I've had any conversation with maybe senior managers or interns, or, as an intern, as a project manager or something during my internships, or even talking to some of my father's or mother's friends. So this is one thing that they sort of bring it out, that, there's a definite change in the way you're presenting yourself. And that is definitely something we just sort of imbibe there. We don't learn it as a course, but we just imbibe it.
And I can see one thing, the jolliness of this particular interview is bought by Manik. We were just doing some technical stuff before this, and he made everything into laughters over here. So he has made a very valid point over here that it's a it's a diversified code structure, which is having the impact, and that's why, because of that diversity, perhaps it is the best course available across all streams after 12. Am I right?
Oh, I thought Anusha.
No, it happens. It happens. No problem. Yeah. That's Manik for you.
Yeah, that's always you.
No, but definitely the course structure, I'm sure we'll delve more into that later. But yeah, but generally it sort of transforms your life, as Anusha brought out earlier, and I'm sure we'll bring out more aspects of a life there in the course of this interview, about the various things we do apart from academics. And I think that will sort of help to show what actually is there at life there in the 5 years.
Okay. Okay, let me put a connected question to you, Navya, because he was talking about the life. Okay. And we have heard from many people that, it's not IIM Indore, it's Planet I for you. So what is this exactly Planet I, and how has been your life on that Planet I? If you can come up with a few words on that.
Yeah, I think I would again reiterate what Manik and Anusha said. We were all kids right out of 12th and coming to Indore, where we hadn't ever explored before, and all of us were just coming to such a new place out of our own silos, and in a place where everyone's from across India, and you're doing a course which is so well structured, and it just matures you in a way that you can't explain, because in a 5-year course, there is an eventuality that you're entering MBA, right? So there's a lot more. Not, I wouldn't say pressure, but just you feel like you have to justify your time over there, and everyone is super helpful, and just very driven towards something. So the peer environment is very supportive. And yeah, Planet I would say the term Planet I came from the fact that, again, it's a whole life in itself. I would say that's true for any campus anywhere, but definitely kids out of school in an IPM program, which is unique in itself, you have to find family in each other. And talking about my life over there, I think I would say I have enjoyed every aspect of IPM, straight from academics, because liking the subjects is the primary thing.
How was the start? How was the start? Sorry, interrupting in between. When you came out of a school, and you were a school kid that point of time, you rightly said that, and moving into a college, and that too for the 5 years, that too in a residential program in IIM Indore, a big size campus. How was the start, and how did you do the ice breaking over there?
I think for all of us, in 2016 batch, it was still a new course. So all of us were in that space. Okay, that this is a new course. We just came here because we love the curriculum. And I think starting out, I would say that everybody just wants to interact. So you don't really have to put too much pressure into it. you have to explore. Everyone's in a different place. Everyone just wants to board, so it's not that tough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I would say it was very organic. It wasn't forced at all, and
Wasn't
there are a lot of extracurricular activities as well, where you can be a part of clubs and meet like-minded people. So it's very supportive culture.
So what she's making, the point she's making is very good, that, you know, the ambience is as such that you need not need to make many efforts. People are going to talk to you, they'll be expressing themselves, and yes, it is not difficult to make ice break over there. So one more thing, Navya, what we are being listening from long time, that, you know, it's made for the rich kids. IPM is made for the rich kids. They're going to, you know, take a lot of money from you. It's not made for the middle class students. But I think there's some kind of problem over here, because many middle class students in Supergrads are eyeing at IPM. So is it going to be tough for them?
I think it's a common misconception, you know, it's for the rich kids and all. But I would say, if you look at the course, you are in an institute which offers MBA primarily. So you'll be using the same infrastructure, same top class faculty. So the cost of the program is very well thought out. But as far as the affordability is concerned, there is an need-based financial assistance also provided by IIM Indore. Like, there is a criteria: if you have an annual income below a certain level, then you can make use of that. And
most of them may be taking education loans, so there should not be a problem, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, many of my batchmates, myself included, we have taken loans, and IIM is a top institute, so there are favorable loan conditions around that as well. So it's not tough to manage, and IIM Indore would obviously want to support good students coming in, so there's not much of a problem on that front.
So this is a notion among many students. It's made for rich kids. She's completely denying it. She made 3 points, and 3 points are good enough for each and every individual who's listening to this particular interview. First point she is making is that, including her, most of the students have already taken the education loans. Second point she's making is that NBFA scheme is provided by IIM Indore. Even if you do not belong to middle class, then also you can utilize that facility being provided by them. And in fact, a very important point which was made by Navya over here is that it's not about the affordability. The quality of curriculum, the quality of faculty, and the quality of deliverables is equal to what they are charging from you. So they're not charging you on the higher side at all. And that is a very valid point, I think, Navya, you made right now. Okay, now Anusha, question goes to you if you are available on the screen. And the question is, I heard that you have gone countries on countries, and that was via the student exchange program. सबसे पहले तो ये बताओ कि student exchange program होता क्या है, and अगर student exchange program बहुत अच्छी चीज है, तो आपको ये opportunity कैसे मिली? How did you get this opportunity, and what you did in your student exchange program time?
First of all, am I visible on the screen?
You're not visible right now, but you will be visible if you on your camera right now.
No, it is on. So
okay.
I think my thumbnail would do at least. So yeah, for the student exchange program was luckily introduced the year when we got into our third year. So that is when it happened for the first time in IPM. So Manik and I, both of us, went for the first IPM student exchange program that happened. But yeah.
Just an interruption over a second. So all three of them have joined us from different cities. Anusha has joined us, if I'm not wrong, from Bhopal, Navya from Chandigarh, and Manik from Gurugram. So all three of them are from different cities, but a very good friendship which is visible on the faces of all three of them. Yes, Anusha, continue, please.
Yeah, so I think Manik and I both lucked out on being the batch that got to go for the first foreign exchange. In fact, both of us went to the same university, lived in the same apartment also. Sorry?
Which place did you go to?
We went to EM Lyon. It's a university in France.
France, okay.
So just talking about the selection process and how it actually happens. Most of it is based on the grades. So the better grade you've had, the better academic performance you've had throughout your IPM undergrad, the more chances you have of getting a better university. But the hack there is that most people don't really care about the university that they're getting, because uh, majorly we don't go there to study as such,
Okay.
even though that might be a very good experience in itself, attending classes from faculties from all over the world. It's like, even if you're going to a university in France, that there's a high probability that they will have guest lecturers from different parts of the world. So that's also an experience in itself. But mostly everyone is excited about the traveling bit more. So yeah, it was a very again overwhelming experience for me, because I think that is one thing that stood out for me, and I realized that we're really insignificant among the overall scheme of things, because
How long did you
here
go over
just
there?
for 5 months.
5 months? That's a big time. I was thinking 5 weeks only.
No, yeah. So yeah, that was also a differentiating aspect, that we get to live there for 5 months, and it's very different from just traveling. And we're pretty sure that we'll not get such an experience again, because at that time our undergrad was over, so we didn't have to really think about our grades back home. Our placements were far away, so we didn't really had to think about where we are going to get placed, or any pressure, any work pressure as well. So we went there with completely open minds and nothing on our plates to take care of. So I think that also added a lot to the experience, because we could just roam around without thinking about a lot of things and just taking all of it in. So yes, it was easily among the top 3 experiences in my entire 5-year journey. And I don't think words will ever be able to express what we felt there, because it's something that I had never seen before. And I think just the fact that you're interacting with people who are so different yet so similar to you, and that
All right.
breaks a lot of notions. So you grow a lot automatically. So
I like the
that
points
bit of
being
it.
made by you. Like पहले humility वाला point बोला. She's good at that, है ना? कि the fact is that they are so different but like you. But like you. So Navya, what was your experience? Sorry, I have not put forth this question. I thought कि ये question में अनुषा से पूछूंगा, but उसने इतना excite कर दिया मेरे को कि I thought कि नव्या से भी पूछूं. मानिक तो वहीं फ्रांस ही गए. What was your experience with a student exchange program?
So actually, I couldn't opt for it in IPM, because if you have a certain like committee profile, so obviously you have to stay on campus to fulfill some of those duties. So
So you went for committee?
Yeah, I
So
was
Navya,
in.
just being humble here, she had one of the most important professional roles to play in IPM. She was the social placements coordinator, so she wasn't allowed to go with
बहुत सारी चीजें निकलने वाली है अभी, है
such
ना?
an important role to play. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought so we get a chance to go in PGP
Can we
as
fetch your
well.
numbers also?
So it's kind of funny you asked me about that experience, because I chose to opt for it in PGP, either IPM or like in the first 3 years you can go then, or in the MBA curriculum. So I thought, okay, fine. If I can't go now, I'll go in MBA. But then the pandemic is one of the things that got in the way, and even I ended up doing it online. I also did it with EML only, as luck would have it. But yeah, online foreign exchange doesn't have that ring to it. I just did it on Zoom. Yeah.
Okay, so she was in a foreign land, but on Zoom in the same room where she is right now. Okay, now Manik, how was your experience? I think you had been to France only. So, कुछ अलग हटके experience हुआ?
No, yeah, like largely I agree with Anusha, because it's definitely a life-changing experience, because as she said, we never get this sort of time back, like a good 5 months without at a stretch, and we sort of go at a time when there's no responsibilities as such. There's nothing to do as such, because like I see my elder brother, if he's going out on a trip or something, even if it's for a weekend trip, he knows he has to come back on the next Monday and get back to work. Maybe there is some work during the trip, and even then at max maybe you get to go for maybe a week, 2 weeks, depending on your organization. But this was 5 months at a stretch, no responsibilities, no stress, no nothing. and you can just sort of travel freely, do whatever you want to do.
All right.
And I think that was one change or different thing that's definitely there compared to India and traveling in India, that in general it's a little more safe, I'd say. You can travel a lot more, you can travel safely individually. And I personally, I did a 2-week solo trip as well
Okay.
across Eastern, Middle, Central Eastern Europe.
यही
So
तो मैं
that was
पूछना
really
चाह रहा था
nice.
exactly.
So that was really nice. But
Solo trip मतलब कैसे, मतलब you went alone and
yeah.
और वहां पर डर नहीं लगता, मतलब अकेले अकेले घूमने जा रहे हो?
No, so that's also something you learn. Maybe, had you asked me before I was going there, okay, that I might do this, I might have thought twice about it. But having spent a couple of months there, so it didn't seem that big a challenge. I was like, हाँ ठीक है, मतलब हो जाएगा. थोड़ा extra ध्यान रखना पड़ता है.
Also,
Sorry?
the fact that he's from Gurgaon, so that prepares him well for the fever.
Yeah, definitely.
That shows
I
the
think you
bond
both
of
are.
these guys. Okay, Manik, I've heard a lot. I'm sorry, Navya wants to say something.
No, I think they both are undermining the foreign exchange part of it. Like, yeah, they went to go and travel, but I think I would add one thing, that when you do get, working, and you will be probably interfacing with teams abroad. So if you have some experience of foreign exchange or something, there's a certain level of relatability as well. Like, you have that connect with them.
There's a lot of cultural learning that you get, like even when you're
Yeah.
there. And at least for me and Anusha, in our batch, it was a batch of what, 30, 40 people, and there were some people from America and multiple people from different countries of Europe, and maybe someone from Russia, someone from Germany.
Okay.
So even
from
there,
entire,
it wasn't just
people from different countries visit for this particular thing. ये ऐसा
Yeah,
कुछ
so-
program है?
yeah. So that's a student exchange program. So it's just a university thing that happens. And so universities from all over the world sort of just visit each other. So like IIM Indore has a relationship with a lot of schools, and primarily in Europe, but some in the Far East, let's say China, Taiwan and Japan, and a couple of them in ANZAC, couple of them in New York. And similarly, those colleges also have relationships. So in our batch, there were people from, I think, 10, 15 people from America, couple from Germany, couple from Spain, 3, 4 from Mexico, 3, 4 from Brazil, 2, 3 from Russia. So even there, then it was a sort of multicultural batch, and you sort of will get to.
How
you know,
are
you
you
feel with
getting
them.
each other? That's मेरे दिमाग में वही नहीं आ रहा है. You speaking Hindi, they speaking in French. ब्राजील पर आप अपनी भाषा में बात करेगा.
So even with
That's the
English,
fun
there's
part.
a lot of difference in accent. So that was definitely a little bit of an issue, because everyone
बोल रहा
speaks
है ना?
differently. Yeah, but
But
definitely.
to begin with, we also had like a week of cultural integration, so that was
Yeah.
also very fun.
अच्छा.
Getting to know the cultures of different people coming from different backgrounds.
Foods and drinks.
Okay.
Yeah, Manik's meal.
Okay, I think
Other
it's going
experiences
laughter
as well, so
right. This interview, I'm just putting the next question to you, Manik. I know it's a student exchange program is a very interesting thing, and all three of you contributed in this particular question. One more interesting thing, I've heard a lot about your campus as well. मैंने ये भी सुना है कि वहाँ पे नाइट में अलग से चलती है, वहाँ पर अलग अलग रेस्टोरेंट्स है, अड्डेज है, शेयरिंग बेसिस पे पहले 3 साल आप लोग रहते हो, उसके बाद लाइफ अलग होती है. So share some of your experiences from the campus. मतलब campus की लाइफ कैसी थी?
Yeah. So I'll probably think of it as in the terms of spaces, that apart from the academic space, there's definitely a space, an intellectual space, a cultural space, a sports space, a fun space, definitely a gastronomic space. And other than that, so
What was that?
That's
So, as you
a
said-
posh way of saying that Manik frequented all the eating joints on campus. I think he never stepped into the sports
We-
space.
yeah,
You are on Supergrads YouTube
yeah, I
channel.
think we should not
Again.
get into those, because other gastronomic experiences were also had, Navya.
Okay,
Let's
come
take
back
that
to the question
offline.
once
Yeah.
again.
No, so definitely in terms of the facilities available. Okay, so we can talk about the lifestyle facilities first. So there's as you said, there's a night mess. which operates in the night, and there's a couple of food outlets which are operating within the facilities. So they're mostly people coming from the city. In between, we used to have a couple of student-run startups as well. And so it was not the students that are cooking; they get cooks for that, but they were the ones running that thing. And then in terms of, let's say your daily need shop, so students run a daily need shop called Pie Shop. And
ये I am Indore वाले students होते हैं कि बाहर के?
Yeah, I am Indore students, so we have a club for that.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a club for that, and then there's a vegetable shop, there's a medical shop, pharmacy. We have a auditorium, so every weekend we have the new releases being shown there. And
new releases, बढ़िया है
every week.
I was not knowing all this thing. I may have taken more than 200 videos on this particular channel, but ये पहली बार सुन रहा हूँ मैं. हर new release Friday को.
Right, not always Friday. The days used to sort of change over the years, but they used to be free. And for the blockbuster, something like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, they used to have 2 showings. Okay. And these are open for everyone of the institute. It's not just a set of students. So you go to the hall and there'll be professors and there will be staff and there will be support staff and everyone's there. It's open for all and it's free. You're not paying or anything for it. So that's more of the living spaces. But even I think sports-wise, definitely we have amongst the best sports infrastructure. We have a swimming pool and we have multiple courts. And they're also refurbished time to time. It's not that they're old and decaying. And we have tables in form of, let's say, a pool table, TT tables. And our activity council actually organizes a lot of activities. All 3 of us have been at some point in the activity councils. And we organize our own events and so on. Some may be online, some offline. We have a lot of guest talks and activities happening.
I'm feeling jealous now. I think what I am listening from you right now, on and on, he's not even stopping somewhere. अब एक बात ये है important कि देखो उसको दुनिया के सारे मजे उस particular campus में दिए. That's the particular thing which we can actually take out from this particular talk. And also definitely. Just understand one thing. So many experiences from a single campus these guys are having. And that's why they are coming on this particular platform and speaking about it. And that too for the period of 5 years. So I think these guys will not be forgetting those 5 years throughout their lives. And they'll be telling to their children, they'll be telling to their grandchildren. And every time, पता है उधर ऐसा होता था. This is the वहाँ TT वाले टेबल पे ये चीज होती थी. Swimming pool का. फिर ये भी बता रहे हैं कि रिलीज होती है मूवी वहाँ पर. हम लोग खाना बेचते थे, खाते थे, and everything.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience. Even if we compare it with our friends, school friends. So couple of them to घर पे आके they were like, auntie ये तो hotel में रह रहा है ऐसा लगता है. They have literally said this. Because even our hostels are very nicely equipped. And I think Navya can talk more about one of our batchmates. He's running a media startup and a lot of seniors have done that. And even on the intellectual side.
What's that, Navya? You can please show some
Navya can talk more.
Yeah, so a batchmate of mine, he's also from Bhopal. He started his own media consultancy while being on campus. So I think that started as a pet project in second year. A lot of us were involved in a few videos, But then it eventually, by the end of 5th year, evolved into a complete formal company. He was taking assignments from the campus itself, getting paid for it. So it's great how if you start to do something with the help of the peer group around you, everyone will support you till the end. So yeah, it's great. Like I think on the facilities front, I think Manik missed out on a few. So a few people might notice that the campus is a little away from the main Indore city. So there's a common concern that how will you, fly to the main city and back and forth and stuff like that. So the campus has a shuttle bus service, which kind of carries on every hour. So students can make use of that.
Like airport, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. And there are stops in between. So students don't have to...
Tell me one thing which you guys don't have. अब मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. ठीक है. Okay, please continue.
Yeah. So like a lot of parents, at least in IPM, were concerned that my ward would not be safe in a different city. But the campus has a lot of infrastructure in place, that there is official buses flying in the city, and you can make use of them. You don't have to risk taking private, transport to go to the city. So that's there. And Yeah, I guess that was an important point to make. And in terms of security on the campus, even like if you want to enter the campus, you have to do a lot of checking at the gate itself. If you don't have permission, you are not allowed in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
on the security front as well, it's
On
pretty
security
tight.
front also, it's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, and there's night times as well that IPM students have to enter the campus by a specific time. So I think that's important to sort
Please
of note
throw
here
some more
before.
light on that, because I can see the glow on your face.
No, so it's just that being, as you said, that we are kids from school. So I think by 11 p.m. we sort of have to enter the campus.
Okay.
And we have to be inside the campus basically. And earlier we
Oh.
used to have hostel in times as well, but I believe last year onwards they have sort of been removed. That you can roam around in the campus at least, but even within the campus, there's so many guards and so on. Like we have a boundary wall, and if we are walking there at night as a student, at every 5-7 minutes you'll find a guard, and they'll be like, "Kahan ja rahe ho? Kya kar rahe ho?" types.
Okay.
So there's a lot of safety that way.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now I think everybody who is being listening to these three people, fantastic people, glued to your screens. The next question is going to be very, very important for you. And it's coming to Anusha. How has been your placement experience at IIM Indore?
My placement experience, I think I'll just tell you the basic structure of the placements that happen at every B school. So we have a summer placement, which is a 2-month internship placement. So through that placement process, we get an internship after that we undertake after our first year is completed. So that is the summer placement process. Then post that, after second year, we have the final placement process. In second year, in the last leg of second year, we have the final placement process. Am I audible clearly?
Yeah, you're audible. In the second
Okay.
year, you mentioned second year, right?
Right.
Second year itself, you have the final year placement process.
Second
You're talking
year,
about MBA, na?
Second year
MBA
of
second
PGP.
year,
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
yeah.
So,
Fifth
okay,
year
okay.
for
I'm
us.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Fifth year
Fifth
for
year
us.
rather. Okay.
Okay, for IPM overall, yeah, I also missed out on the social placement process that now happens in the IPM second year.
Yeah.
So we have IPM students overall have 3 placement processes. One is social placements, IPM second year. Then there's summer placement, which is PGP first year, MBA first year.
MBA first
Then
year.
there's final placements, that is MBA second year.
MBA second year.
Uh,
Okay, okay. I always
so
thought fourth year and fifth year. That's why it got confused.
Yeah. Yeah, the sort of lingo changes once we enter MBA, and we just, because it's completely integrated. So we also start talking in the sense of this is our first year, this is our second year of
Okay.
MBA.
That shows there is no
Uh,
difference between PGP and IPM.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So
Okay, yes, please continue.
So during summers, there are a lot of interviews that happen the usual placement week where companies come in and you give interviews and group discussions or whatever the placement is. But there are also a lot of competitions that start happening once you enter MBA. Like a lot of companies reach out to our institutes with different business problems, and whoever comes up with an innovative solution for the business problems usually wins that competition and gets a pre-placement interview or something with the company along with some cash prize. So
Okay, wait. I think I have not heard about this particular placement process till now, because what usually we infer that people, the companies are going to turn up to your campus. They'll conduct one GD round. They might also conduct some kind of written test. They will be conducting the interview. What she's saying, she's making a very, very important point over here. They'll come up with their own business problems and they'll put it on the table. And whoever comes up with the best solution to it gets a pre-placement offer, if I'm not wrong, right, Anusha?
It's an interview. You get an interview. So basically,
Okay, you get a pre-placement interview. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
So this part, as you said, is not really spoken about as much because it doesn't sound as difficult as people want MBA to sound usually. So I actually participated in one of these competitions and I was one of the finalists there, and I got an interview with Bajaj Auto itself.
Okay.
And I got through the interview round. I did my internship there and I got a pre-placement offer from Bajaj Auto itself.
Great.
So I didn't really had to sit for final placement process. So that was my placement experience overall. I think I got lucky there too, because I didn't really had to go through a major part of the grill.
But
But
it's
yeah, this is the
wonderful. I think,
placement process in short.
every time you're
Yes.
making some point, you're giving some, what do we call that?
Yeah.
High points of this particular interview. No, I'm going to get glued to this because she has spoken this thing. And really, a very interesting point being made by Anusha over here, that placement process में थोड़ा सा twist है. और twist ये है कि company visit करेगी आपके campus पे, and they are coming up with a problem, and whoever comes with a solution. मतलब ये थोड़ा क्या वो हो गया ना, बीरबल टाइप की बात हो गई. Don't you think? Like जो भी बीरबल है यहाँ का, वो अकबर की सभा में आ जाए और take this particular thing. Naveen, do you want to throw some light on the placements? I mean, overall placement. If you do not want to share your experience, at least the overall होता क्या है? Summer placement भी बता दो, थोड़ा सा executive placement भी बता दो. If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, I think Anusha kind of mentioned the structure, that we have summer internships and then the final placement process. And I think placements, I would say, is a very hectic time across campus. I wouldn't say it's just MBA, but I think in terms of the support of the institute, there are committees in place to prepare you for each domain that you want to sit for. There are multiple mock interviews that are taken by the campus people, and the support from the seniors that we get in terms of resume mentorship and the kind of knowledge that they pass down that this company does so and so process.
You were in the committee. I just sorry interrupting in between. You were in the committee, so I think this is a very right question for you. Okay, so you are providing all kind of support to the people in the terms of mock interviews from that committee point, right? And you will be providing them the help with the resume and everything. Okay, and then the students have to carry it forward, right?
Yeah. I think this kind of a support system is very important. You instantly notice the difference. Okay, this person is from an MBA college, so that knowledge gets passed down, and the way the resume looks for a person who's in MBA college versus outside, there's some very, very fundamental differences. So I think in terms of preparation by the institute, it's an immense support. And if I have to talk about my experience, I think Anusha went into marketing. I had kind of made up my mind to pursue finance. So even before the company comes on campus, there are a lot of multiple processes that go on even before the placement week starts. There are aptitude tests, there are multiple company PPTs and resume-based shortlist. So multiple touch points with the company. And I would say in terms of criteria of selection, if academics is the first barrier, after that, your personal presentation, your interest in the domain, they have to shine out. So
please throw more light on this, because that will help the students. It's a very important point, because we are also telling them, your personality is as important as academics every time whenever they are talking to us. Yeah. And you're making a very valid point, a very, very valid point she's making. And because she was part of the big IIM's placement committee. So I think it's nice to hear from her directly. Please tell us.
Yeah, I was actually facilitating the social internship part in IPM. I would say it was just a kind of a trailer into what the final placement process was. Those guys have a way tougher job, but I think for IPM students who are coming in, we were very, very clueless of what we wanted. So the first thing I want to tell them is it's okay. You can explore when you come on campus what you want to do. There's nothing to be worried too much about the placement process. You'll figure it out with time, but because there is immense support by the campus and the people there. And yeah, I think my personal experience, I would say even I got off easy. I got my summer internship and with Goldman Sachs, and based on the performance that you did, you get a pre-placement offer. But again, the people who do sit for finals, they also have a very good infrastructure in place. So they like, but by the end of second year in MBA, you have a profile and a domain of your choice, which you have made up your mind. You have a very strong profile in that area specifically. So that really helps you aim for what you want versus say first year when you don't have a clue.
Okay, so first year means MBA first year, right? Okay.
Yeah,
so everything, every decision making happens after the say fourth year, right? To make it very clear.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like there are a lot of electives also offered. So the kind of electives you pick, that's how you have a specialization. Like there's a misconception
elective picking
that
happens after fourth year only.
So yeah, after fourth year.
Okay.
In your final year, you have electives. So there's a misconception that you did an MBA in finance, you did an MBA in marketing, but IIM has kind of a generalized curriculum where they would want you to have exposure to everything and not define you in a silo, you know. So slowly you kind of pick electives where you have interest, you build your profile that way, and that also helps you streamline your placement at the end of the 5th year.
So she's making a very fair point, you know. Usually the courses are like that, you're jack of all trades and master of none. And over here it's master of all trades and jack of none, because what you guys are going through is, I can check out from your journey, and that the fair point made by you also. And at the end of the journey, you can pick up something for you. Like this is the elective where you exactly can perform very well. And that's the final mandate. Navya went to finance, Anusha went to marketing, and both of them are performing fantastically. Manik also. Okay. Okay. Now, so next question I'm putting for all three of you. It's not a Karan Johar chit chat show, but it's a chit chat with you guys. So I thought of bringing some kind of element. एक हमने round सोचा है जिसका नाम है rapid rating and rapid answer round. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा बता देता हूँ इसके बारे में. So I'm going to give you one thing from your journey, okay? उसको आपको rate करना है और क्यों उतना rate किया ये बताना है, ठीक है? And this particular thing is going to go to each and every one of you, ठीक है? So let's start with Manik, then it goes to Anusha, then it goes to Navya. Is that okay? Should we start?
Ratings out of 5 or 10?
Okay. What do you say?
Like a true MBA.
All right. See, one thing I have noticed over here, Malik कुछ भी बोलता है, अनुषा कुछ ना कुछ वहां से गुड़गांव से कुछ भी चीज आती है, भोपाल से रस नहीं आती है. ठीक है. So, okay, let's go for 5 then. ठीक है, Manik, out of 5. Life at IIM Indore.
6.
Oh, yeah, clever. ठीक है, reason I think आपने बहुत सारे दे दिए.
Yeah,
I think you have already answered this. Anusha.
5.
5. Okay, and what is the reason? I mean, because Manik has said a lot about it.
It's everything that you want for as an hope for as an undergrad student, and more than that. So I don't
I think
there
as a
was
human
any-
being, थोड़ा सा इसको मैं twist
Yeah.
करूँ. Right? Everything you want as a human being. Okay, Navya.
Yeah, I think 5 from my side as well. I was a science student when I joined IPM, and I had no idea about so many courses out there, you know, in law, psychology, fine arts. So a lot of exposure, I must say. Like even if we don't have in-depth knowledge, but yeah, it was very, very fun to just be there and have the 5-year experience.
Great. Second, they say that, you know, going to a school, going to a college is nothing until you add value to it. Okay. So in terms of value addition, out of 5, Manik.
5.
5. What value did it add to you?
Definitely, I completely changed in a way. 12th, I was more introverted, I'll say. A little more
Are you?
quieter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It doesn't
a little
seem
more.
right.
Yeah, that's what exactly. I was a little more quieter and not as maybe, you know, not as social. Not to say that there's anything wrong with it, but definitely not as confident, I'll say. And so that sort of does change. That is definitely one of the biggest value adds.
Great.
The way you can sort of just present yourself, I think.
Okay. So you have become very social and you get along very well with people now. Anusha, out of 5.
5 as well. I think most of the answers we were just going to give it 5. We are in love with the course so much. But yeah, 5 from my side as well, because it added immense value to me personally. As I said, professionally, it gives me skills and a lot of confidence and all of that. But I think personally, a very, very valued set of people that I know if I fall, they're there to pick me up and sort of just help me out through a lot of difficult things. So I think that
a lot
in
of
that sense
changes
also,
there.
Yeah.
अब गुड़गांव से आ रहा है. Okay, Navya.
Yeah, I think 5 for me as well. You know, it was the time that we were calling shots on our life for the first time. Parents nahi bata rahe kya karna hai. So like the first time you can independently take your own decisions and I think I would say there is something for everyone, even if you are, say, oriented towards academics or extracurriculars, you can just find something to your liking over there. So that was a very, very good thing.
Okay. So you mean to say that it's something that, you know, that can cater to each and every individual, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
great
think
point.
just to add on to Navya's point, sorry, I'm digressing a little, but she brought
Do
up
that.
yeah.
You become more
As she
social
brought
now. That's why.
Yeah, so
Yes,
apart
please.
from all the fun parts and the academic parts, there's a lot of intellectual activities in the fact that we have, for example, we have these courses of independent studies, wherein we can do in-depth researches and studies with our professors. And for example, one of our batchmates, he's co-authored a book chapter with the professor, and he on R coding basically, and he's given a guest lecture to the doctoral students at IIM Indore.
How come, you know, a management guy writing a book on coding? I mean, it's
Right, so that's what. So for the first 3 years, they're not exactly management guys, right? We are, as you
okay.
said, jack of all trades.
Master of all
And at
trades and
least,
jack of none, right?
right, and at least for the first 3 years, we can choose whatever we want to sort of go deeper into. So he chose this line, and at the same time, there's actually our batchmates who have gone and presented their papers in various conferences and exhibitions. A couple of our batchmates went to MIT in USA to present a paper.
Okay.
So this is a lot of things happening, and not just, so this is the intellectual part of it, apart from the pure academics, I would say. So definitely
मतलब
a
सिर्फ
lot of
स्टूडेंट एक्सचेंज
opportunities.
प्रोग्राम नहीं है जो आपको बाहर भेजता है, ये सब चीजें भी हैं. तो ये तो मिस हो गया था. अच्छा हुआ हम ट्रैक कर रहे हैं चीजों को. Thanks for interrupting. So for the audience at least. Okay. Now one thing I think next point is very important. Manik, starting from you only. Life after college, because you know you miss it, but it has built you now. So out of 5.
Work from home right now, so not the best. No, but it's nice. Obviously, we are all a little nostalgic because our last year got quite disrupted.
Yeah.
And we didn't have, at least we were able to have a farewell, even it was a very mild one. And we have a convocation coming up next weekend. So I think we'll be a little sad after that, after having it online.
Okay. They may arrange it, you know, I mean, the time when things will be better, because now vaccination has taken its shape and everything. So you may happen to meet.
We'll hope for that. No, but
I'm remembering my days now. जब मैंने MBA किया था, तब की यादें आ रही हैं मुझे.
Yeah, but definitely 5, definitely, because you leave campus. Obviously, you were all, you know, कि पता नहीं क्या होगा, बड़े हो गए यार अब तो. But you leave feeling confident of being able to take on life, definitely, and like you're equipped to go out and sort of figure it out on your own.
Anusha, life after college.
4, just for one reason that I gave a 5 to life in campus. So for me, this is a notch lower than what the campus was, because that was another high. So I cannot rank it the
So
same.
you were addicted to the campus. Let me tell you that. Huh?
I think everyone who
Campus में
spent
jobs
5
नहीं
years
मिलती
there,
क्या?
not the, I don't think I should comment on that right now.
Okay, Navya.
Yeah, I think it's work from home. Even the internship was virtual. The life after college is pretty much staying at home when we were just used to coming back for 2 weeks. You know,
one thing. एक मिनट मैं आपको इंटरप्ट कर रहा हूँ. लाइफ आफ्टर कॉलेज का मतलब ये नहीं कि कोरोना की वजह से लॉकडाउन हो गया तो वो एलिमेंट आप ऐड कर रहे हो. It's just giving an idea to the audience, you know, how good it gets. उस चीज को एलिमेंट को अगर माइनस कर मार्क्स दें, ठीक है, बिकॉज मानिक ने भी पहले शुरुआत कर दी थी. कल्प्रिट मानिक एक्चुअली उसने स्टार्ट किया सबसे पहले.
But just first time in his defense and in all of our defense, we have not really experienced life after college, because college से आते ही हम घर पे ऐसे.
Okay.
So none of us has really ventured out ऐसे.
I think the last time you said, या इशिता said कि होम सिकनेस बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करती है, लेकिन कैंपस में जाने के बाद फिर उल्टा घर पे आना मुश्किल लगता है कि नहीं यार, ठीक है वापस जाना है. Okay, Navya, please continue.
Achha, like if I exclude the work from home part, I would say again kind of a 4.5, because I think I would say I have a very, very good friend group that we can rely on even off campus, so that's good. Like even whichever city we'll go to, we'll have plenty of people to meet. And but I think one point also I'll highlight, there is a certain age advantage we have. We are what, 22, 23-year-olds going into the corporate world, and we are kind of in terms of career at par with people who are a little older than us. So I would say that to have this responsibility so early on, it's just maturing us in a very, very different way, and we still have time to make our own mistakes. So that's a very, very good part.
Great. All right, now few very commonly asked questions. Commonly asked questions I'm going to ask you guys. I mean, because students have been asking these questions from us. Let's take it one by one. Should we start with Anusha? Okay, Anusha. Can a student prepare for IPM aptitude test in the period of 2 months?
Yeah, I think one can definitely prepare for IPM aptitude test in 2 months, majorly because it doesn't really test a lot of memory, or it as the test, as the name of the test suggests, it's aptitude test. So you just have to polish that skill a lot, and you just have to work on your speed more than learning how to solve questions, because the kind of questions asked are just testing how good are you at understanding the question A, and how quickly can you arrive at a solution for that. So it doesn't really require you to go to the concepts a lot if you have done a fair job with your maths till 10th standard. And I think verbal ability section, again, if you're used to speaking English in your school or just the basic level, it's the easiest section to crack for any competitive exam. So I think just 2 months, a very focused preparation strategy for 2 months can definitely help a student in landing in IIM Indore or other IIMs that have started IPM now.
So what I can infer from Anusha's talk is, yes, it is possible. But there was a but into that also, that, you know, you should have done your homework very well before that. So it's good if you start early. You can crack it in the period of 2 months time, because you have to give your complete focus preparation. You have to do the complete focus preparation that point of time. That's what you want to say, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now moving to Manik. How was life at IIM Indore apart from studies? मतलब कि studies एक चीज होती है, everything. उसके अलावा ऐसी क्या चीज थी that, you know, gave you the life?
I think it's just very chill. कि जो करना है कर सकते हो essentially. कि party करनी है party कर सकते हो and get, you know, just pass.
Party हो रही है.
Definitely बहुत हुई है. And अगर पढ़ाई करनी है पढ़ाई कर सकते हो, just जो करना है कर सकते हो. Like that certain freedom about it. कि
no baggage at all.
Yeah, there's no one way, and the best part I find is you can do sort of try to do everything as well. कि थोड़ा बहुत सब कुछ dabble कर लो. It's not कि if you're a sportsman तो जी मैं सिर्फ sports खेलूंगा, you know, that's all I'll do. It's nothing like that. So you'll have people doing a lot of different things and doing them very well as well. So it's not कि एक ही चीज कर सकते. You don't have to focus on one thing, definitely.
So what he's saying over here is, you know, it's something which is going to give you an experience from each and everything, right? Like it's not going to restrict to only one thing. It's going to give an experience of each and everything, and that's the best part of IIM Indore. What I can interpret from your particular conversation, right?
Definitely.
Okay, Navya. You know, IPM started in 2011 by IIM Indore. You know, it got its popularity because of its diversified course structure. Mostly because, you know, a student is living over there for the period of 5 years. And now it was backed up by a new education policy also in the year 2020. So do you think IPM program will be introduced by most of the IIMs in the coming time, and it is going to become the course of the future?
Yeah, I think I would definitely agree with that. For students who are interested in management in the longer term, I would say this is a very, very good course, because you get to learn the basics before stepping into, you know, core domains of finance, marketing, whatever. So you get to know the subjects behind that, and you know in depth of how things are working. So In terms of the course, it's very, very well structured. It has changed over the years. Even our feedback was taken on a certain courses, and you see the change getting implemented instantly. So we as students also were a very, very important stakeholder in deciding what the course
What
would
kind
be
of
like.
feedback, if you can elaborate a bit?
Like any kind of course we would want more in depth. Any portion we found was probably like done hastily or something. Like our feedback was very important in how the course was structured, and that's done in across B schools. I think for MBA as well, every course has a feedback attached to it. But in IIM Indore, we felt like that feedback was heard and implemented, so that was a very, very good thing. Because I think it was a very like a new course, right? And IIM Indore was the testing ground for that. And the fact that other IIMs are replicating the same course, it speaks to the success of IIM Indore's implementation. So a lot of baby IIMs have started IPM. I can't say for certainty, but IIM Lucknow and Bangalore are also in talks of, say, IPM or some similar kind of a bachelor's course. So because a lot of infrastructure goes into developing an undergrad course in a institute like IIM, you have to have different faculty, different course structure. So a lot of work goes behind it. So it's great that it's being taken up by other IIMs as well.
Okay, so the final round of this particular interview, I don't want to end this interview. I don't know why. It has been a laughter riot completely. Your advice to the juniors now, because they are glued to the screens, listening to you one by one, starting from Anusha.
I just, for anyone preparing for IPM, just focus a lot on developing a test taking strategy more than getting into concepts, because that's the part that is usually ignored. People usually focus on getting good at maths, but not getting good at taking a maths exam. So I think focus on that a lot. Take as many
I've been telling to
mocks
my
as
kids
possible.
the same thing. We have been putting so many strategy videos. I tell you this thing, Anusha. And फिर से एक बार बात बोलो, फिर से सुनाओ ये चीज.
Yes,
Come on.
I've repeatedly gone on record to say this, that there are two parts to every test. One is the conceptual knowledge and one is the test taking knowledge. And test taking is usually the most ignored part. So do not take that lightly. Practice as many mocks as you can. And yeah, just have fun through the preparation as well. You'll remember
Mocks
it for your life.
लेने के साथ साथ एनालाइज भी करो, ये भी बोलो उन लोगों को.
Right.
बिल्कुल
Right.
बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल. So देखो, मैंने तो बोला सुना नहीं बहुत बार, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने. अब अनुषा बोल रही है, अब तो सुन लो, ठीक है? Okay, Manik.
Okay, so I'll probably split this into two parts. One for the people pursuing science right now, and one for those who are not. So for the people who are pursuing science, you guys are probably, already have some practice of taking competitive exams. So you sort of have the speed and the ability to work with multiple choice questions built, sort of honed over the time. But as Anusha pointed out, definitely, so it's not like, so I'm a science student, so it's not like JEE chemistry or physics, that you have to study and remember things. This is all very logical, very in the moment. So even if there's maths, they're not going to ask you ki lamba sa 10-marker trigo question solve karo. It's going to be more simple, it's going to be basic, but it's going to be logical. So if you think logically, ho jayega. And then for the other part, for the non-science people, similar advice, but I think definitely practice taking competitive exams, because I think that is something which is not there a lot. So just the ability to be able to answer questions quickly and not getting stuck on it. Basic tips of competitive exams, basically, on how to manage your time, how to manage sections and so on. And having said that, there's no such thing ki maths ki bina nahi hoga. Even in our batch, there's a few people who didn't have maths and who are doing very well, who did very well rather in our batch, and who obviously got through as well. So it's not ki maths nahi hai, so all hope is lost. Because it's a very logical test, and 11th, 12th में नहीं है, 10th तक तो थी, so that should be okay.
एक चीज है, I'm feeling elated because आज वो बातें कर रहे हो आप लोग जो मैं हमेशा आकर सुनो, बिल्कुल वही वाली बात मैं आके करता हूँ यहाँ पर. So thank you, Manik, a very good advice you gave, I think, and you streamlined into two particular things, like अगर साइंस के स्टूडेंट हो तो ऐसा, और more largely also spoke about strategy and concept building completely. Navya.
Yeah, I think if I have to say something unique that Manik and Anusha have already not touched, I would say we were in that phase, and we were constantly comparing ourselves with other people. Even in these mock papers that we were giving, oh, mera rank itna aa raha hai, mera to kabhi hoga nahi types. So on a given exam day, anything can happen. So you need to be in the best mental state possible when you're going to give any paper, be it IPM, AT or something else. So just trust your instinct, on that day. Don't take that past burden with you whatsoever.
I think very fair
Anything
point.
can happen. Yeah.
Why do you need to compete with someone else? Compete with yourself. That's it. I mean, you have your own journey. They may be having their own journey. You have that 2.5 different hours on the D day. They have completely different hours on that particular day. So very fair point made by Navya as well. I think, I'm not going to forget this interview throughout my life. It has been a fun ride since the technical time to this particular thing. And thank you from the core, Navya and Manik in particular, because on one request you came over here. And Anusha as a family, I mean, she has always been, someone I need to just text. मेरे को phone call करने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, and she tells, हाँ sir, we are ready. Okay, so fantastic experience by Supergrads team also. Thanks a lot from the core of our hearts.